disclosure, we already have an offer of 20 million from another company on the table. That I wouldn't want to negotiate with anything less than 20 million upfront. That kind of rules out options D and E for me. My optimum would be B, which I think is a good deal for both of us. I'd be grateful for your thoughts.
B, 8.5. I mean, is something, but I don't know if it's worth for us to go through all the FDA processing and for having this amount of benefits at the end. I mean, I will go for something more. No, yeah, of course, everything that comes more than 20 million for you is good, no?
Yes.
So what we have to put up front as a first cost is that those 10 million for the application to the FDA. So the more we give you on top of those 10 millions is everything at loss for us. From my side, I have to decrease like the offer as much as possible. This with these conditions, I will go for E. Of course, it's maximizing my value. The ZOPA, basically.
Yeah, I think we have got a ZOPA in the example of A with a 25 mil up front. You're reducing your margin down to 5 million. I think that is on the extreme of the one extreme of the ZOPA, and on the other extreme is my BATNA, which is the 20 million upfront cost, which essentially eliminates D and E for me. So together we've eliminated A, D, and E, which leaves the ZOPA as B and C.
And also between the two, there is not much difference.
Exactly. So there's 0.5 mil difference for you, 3 mil difference for me, which is, I think, a strong consideration for opting for B.
Yeah.
Was that what would my BATNA be? Having already been offered £20 million, which is on the table, should I walk away from this negotiation, I think I'd be silly to accept anything less than 20 million upfront, even though there's a promise in option E, for example, of a 20 million bonus. That may or may not materialize. It obviously gives a future expected value of 24 million, but that could end up being 12 million if FDA approval doesn't come through. There's a risk to that I'm not really prepared to take. Even if I was to take that risk with E, it still only gives me the 24 million. It's actually the lowest valuation on my table. So for that reason, E's not really acceptable. The same philosophy exactly applies to D. Even though it's slightly better, it still doesn't meet my BATNA threshold, and it's still one of the worst deals on the table. On the face of it, A could be actually very lucrative for me. 25 up front, that's a guarantee. There's no risk with the bonus and the FDA approval. But actually, when you strip it down to examine what the pie is left, when you take out my solicitor's fees, it actually reduces to 3.75, which is the second lowest margin for me. So the BATNA, I hope I've explained that with D and E. It just doesn't work out for me, really. It brings us back to B and C, really.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we can't, on option B, go 28.5 million and 9 million. And then I think we'd be both happy at that. When you get your you get your optimum in the Zopa, 9 million, and I'm happy with 28.5. But if options D and E are off the table with my BATNA, would you be happy with 8.5 or 9 million? Is that something we can do a deal on?
Yeah. I mean, it's completely fine. I mean, those two options are okay. Like, I mean, they are basically equivalent. No, we can just agree on something that goes in the middle between the two offers.
So if I can get 28.5 and you can get 9,
exactly.
However we work that out, we're both happy.
9 and 28.5
and 9.
Okay. Perfect. If you're okay, we can settle this up as this.
We'll virtually handshake.
Okay, perfect.